Walking here! Up yours, you son of a bitch!
It's I love that sound.
Hola.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? That's about as much Spanish as I remember.
4 years of it in high school, and then
4
a
years.
year of it in college. Yeah,
I did 3 years in high school,
I did 4.
and
I think
I was supposed to
no, no,
only
no,
do the
no,
2, and then my
no.
teacher
It
was like,
was
"You're
3.
so good. Like,
It
take
was
a
3. I
3rd
had the
year."
option to do 4,
Yeah.
and I didn't do it.
They didn't give us an option only because there was not many of us that actually wanted to take the
Mhm.
4th year, so they were like, "Oh, sorry, like, we can't. There's
Well,
not
I
enough
think for
people signed
me,
up."
right, I gotcha. Well, it probably was all about like funding, knowing how
Yeah.
schools work. But my school, I remember they give you an option of like, because senior year was a lot of AP courses.
Uh,
And I had already accepted. I didn't wanna I had it, like, in my mind that AP was more work, and it kind of was from what I saw. I only had 1 course, but I don't know why I was like, "I don't wanna take more than 1," so I just took AP English, and then they offered me AP Spanish, and I was like, "No."
oh, I didn't have I think the only AP class.
I think either they offered it to me and I didn't take it, or my grade maybe didn't go I either, like, just made it in or I, like, didn't
Yeah.
make it in. I can't remember, but
I I don't think I had any
I
AP
wasn't the best in
classes.
my class for Spanish. I was pretty good in English, that was my
English I was pretty decent at. I
Yeah.
don't think I had any AP classes, but I definitely had honors theology, I think.
Oh, I was first track for I was basically first track for, I wanna say everything besides history and math. Those were my
Yeah,
2 that I was
history and
track
math
to.
were I love how we're talking about school, and then this
Yeah,
episode's not even related to school at all.
not at all, but that's
Random
just how the
tangent.
conversation flows. It just be like that
It
sometimes,
just be
you
like
know?
that. Put that on a t-shirt. It be like that
Already, it's
sometimes.
so early in the episode.
We're putting things
But
on
yeah,
t-shirts.
mhm, we gotta manifest it
We're
to make it
manifesting
happen.
it right now.
You know what, it's the funny part is it's pretty easy to make a
Oh
t-shirt.
no, you can easily just whatever. I forget that website. I'm acting like
Mhm.
I know what I'm talking about. I don't. What is
No,
it?
but anyway,
Anyway,
like a t-shirt maker, like the thing that they use to, like, press the
no. There's that one
no?
website you
Okay.
can easily just have your
Oh, you can
own,
customize it, right. I
customize
know
it,
what you're
and like
talking about.
sell them.
And they just send you, like, a big box of them
Yeah.
customized. Okay,
Hmm.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's definitely, like, customizedtshirt.com or something.
Yes, it's something really stupid, but
But, yeah, we're not really here to discuss t-shirts, that's just where our brains kinda diverted for a little bit
but
for
well,
whatever reason.
after the long week we both had, I feel like
Uh-huh.
just
Yeah.
work is just. I don't even need to get into work to know that it's just
I'm not
what a
going to
week.
get I'm not going to get into it, but,
No, because it's just gonna ruin your day.
yeah. Why would we want that?
It's
Then we
already
can talk
ruined.
about the wonderful
Yes.
field trip. I'm calling it a field trip. See, back to school.
Back to school, we're taking a field trip to New York,
Yep.
which I did in high school.
High school and grade school. Our
Grade
8th
school,
grade
really?
trip yeah, our 8th grade trip was we were such a bad group though, we almost got it taken away. Almost, we were very
Oh,
close to
I need to know. Tell that story first.
I don't even remember. It's just like I went to Catholic school, so it was basically like if you were talking in the hallway, you're like
Oh God. Yeah, they yelled at you
I
for
had a teacher
everything.
that oh my god, I had a teacher, and we will not disclose names. Nobody needs to know who I'm talking about. It's okay. So we had a teacher where if you had a nail polish on your nails, she would stop class
But
and
even
put a
if
little
it
bag.
wait,
Nail
even if it
polish.
was like a neutral, like tan or
I think it
white
was like
or
if it was I think they were okay with clear nail polish and that was it. If it was anything other than that,
my
no.
God.
Because a lot of like I know in 8th grade I wanted to like paint my nails black. They didn't like that, you know. Like
But like
anything.
I don't get
She would
why.
stop class. She had a little bag
Oh my
with like a little tool like yeah, like nail polish remover, cotton swabs, whatever to take the nail polish off. And if she saw your nails, this is what I love, is just literally kept our hands in our desk. But
God.
if she did see, she had to, like, take your book out or write something,
Yeah.
she would stop class and put the little bag on your desk, wouldn't say anything, and then would just wait until you cleaned your nails.
I love how she
It was
wouldn't
so
say
bad.
anything. She just quietly passed you the remover and
Yeah, I mean, she
let you
said it a
figure
lot
it.
in the beginning, but it got to the point. See, our teachers, I don't know if they were just impatient or what, because we were like children. Like our school was just
Right.
like, ooh, you know what I mean? But like they got to the point where they would like give us this weird like silent treatment. I feel a lot, at least just in my
Mhm.
school,
But did you go
and
to
it was just like
Catholic school?
looks. Yes,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Because
But
we never
yeah,
had that, but in high school, if your skirts or like jumpers were just like they had to be right above the knee.
mhm.
If they were like way past or even slightly, they were absolutely not. And you would get written up.
Yeah, us too, but they didn't enforce that one enough because I guess there was just too many people that just didn't. It wasn't. Like picked random times to like enforce it,
Of course, yeah.
and one person of like a group of like five would get like reprimanded. I'm like, this is not
Yeah.
doesn't work.
What did you go to New
But yeah,
York for in grade school?
it was our 8th grade trip. We didn't see a show or anything, but they took us to, and they definitely had enough money to take us to a show, but they were just like, nope.
Absolutely. Nah.
They
No.
They, because we voted, we had 3 different options, I think we had it was either gonna be DC, which everybody was like, "No." Like, why would I go why would we wanna
That would
go
have
to
been
D
awesome.
It could've been and to, like, grade school kids, it's not, but definitely
No.
now, it would
Now,
definitely be
yeah.
fun if they took you to the Smithsonian,
Oh, yeah.
which I've been in
And the
DC
Air and
and I have
Space
not been.
Museum is
Mhm, and
also
I need to
great.
go back to DC because we went for a concert one time, but didn't get to the museum, so we definitely have to
Yeah.
go back.
It's and
But
the Holocaust museums in DC,
mhm,
and that's definitely worth going to. Extremely sad, obviously,
yeah.
but going there and
I
like
wanna
learning the history more is incredible.
Yeah, yeah. They're back again to school at one of our, English classes in Cabrini. That
Yes.
was all, like, Holocaust themed books, and it wasn't in I don't remember that being in, like, the program. It was just, like, English 101, and that just happened to be that theme.
Yeah, it was like
So
one of our I guess, the first 3 years you had, like, not an elective class, but you had, like, an assigned type of class that I forget what it was called, but you had to, like, take a certain set, and you can pick between, like, 2,
mhm.
and I think that was an option, and I was like, "Alright," like, I already know about the Holocaust, and I pretty much read a bunch of books already, and then I was like, I'll take that."
Yeah, we
And
read some interesting books in that class, I will
and
say.
then we in college, we also went to New York.
Yeah, yeah, so it was like I'm going to New York in each stage of my schooling.
I don't think I went in high school, but I went in grade
In
school
high
because
school,
we
they
went
took us to see what did you
oh,
see
we did the
something or
wax museum.
Yeah, I was about to say in grade school, that's exactly where they
Yep.
took us to, and then they took us to a restaurant that was all, like, space themed. It's called the Mars restaurant. It was
Oh,
literally
that's
called the
cool.
Mars restaurant. Yeah, I don't know, probably, like it was probably, like, really cool to a group of, like, grade schoolers,
Yeah.
you know?
And
They were like,
then
they'll get pizza and soda and then fall asleep on the bus on the way back
yes.
to the school, let's go."
And then I think I was in maybe high school
Yeah,
when my family and
I went junior year
I
with
think I
school.
might have won sophomore or junior year, but my family and I went to go see Wicked on Broadway.
Mhm.
And I think that's the first time that I remember really loving musicals so much. Like, my
Yeah,
family was on the plays when they were in high school, so I saw, like, my high school do them when I was a kid, but seeing, like, Broadway shows, that was, like, the first time I was like, "This is amazing," and
yeah.
then I need to
They
go
took
see as
us
many as I can,
Yeah,
which
and
I
we're
obviously
still like that,
haven't
even more
because
so now.
even more so now, but, like, the
Expensive.
price is
It's
so high.
expensive.
So I saw Wicked twice. The first
Right.
time I obviously didn't pay for it because I was a kid. And
Mhm.
then I took our friend from college for her birthday because she's never seen Wicked on
Yeah.
Broadway, and I was like, "All right, let's go." That was like 100 something, and
You saw it
then
in New York both times, right?
hmm and
Okay. I saw
then
Mary Poppins in New York. That's what they took us to go see.
ooh, that
And
must have
then
been
a
a good
couple
one.
years later, I saw it in Philly, cheaper, but it was just
I
as
think
good.
I saw The Lion King in
Well, park.
Philly.
Mm.
I think, which was pretty good. And then recently, because
My
we
fiance
follow,
saw that in New York
yeah,
when he was a kid.
we saw because if you know us and you've seen the last episode, was it the last episode when we were talking about Drag Race?
Listen. It was a couple. I want to say it wasn't. Was
I
it the
can't.
last episode?
Maybe it was the last episode.
No,
We were
no,
talking
because
about RuPaul's Drag Race.
YouTuber drama. Remember,
And,
it was before
oh
YouTuber
yes,
drama.
so 2 episodes ago we were talking about RuPaul's Drag Race, like the current season.
Yes.
But they did announce a few months ago that Jinkx Monsoon is going to be playing Audrey in off-Broadway version of Little Shop of Horrors.
Yep.
And as soon, both at the same time, we both like texted each other. Like as soon as we
like,
saw
oh
this was
God.
happening, we were like freaking out.
We're like, oh my God, look.
Well, because like, first of all, off Broadway, the theater is so small, which I didn't realize when I was buying the tickets. All the seating was in the orchestra. I'm like, how did we get so lucky that we're sitting so close? And then when I got to the theater, I'm
And
like,
then we
oh,
realized, wait, that's
it's
the
just
only.
yeah, it's the
It's
only
just the
seating there
section.
is. But then they
That
also
was wild. That was wild because even in there is a theater in Philly, the Walnut Street Theater, that's kind of similar to that, where like it's like a smaller, like that would be Philly's like equivalent to like off Broadway.
But then they also announced, and my high school self would be dying if she knew who I was seeing. But Seymour was played by Corbin Bleu from the High School Musical films.
It really said we're gonna get the millennials in the seats.
Yeah, I think we were probably the only
The
people
younger
that.
millennials in the seats.
Yeah, I feel like we were one of the few that actually knew who those 2 people were. I feel like everyone else just went to go see the actual play itself.
Yeah.
Which is, I wanted to see it because I love that film. But like knowing that they were both the leads, I was dying on the inside.
Yeah.
It was, well, you've never seen it prior to.
No, and honestly, I think it's like, I don't know, because I didn't like go in with like any type of like expectation or like prior knowledge. So honestly, if people are gonna see, I know it's like not financially like sound, but if you're gonna see a musical for the first time, kind of on stage is kind of like the best way to see it. Honestly, it's obviously not financially capable for most people, obviously, but it's just, I was blown away when I watched that on stage.
And
it was incredible.
And well, I love the fact because on Broadway, you're not allowed to really cheer or clap or do anything. You have to kind of just watch it, and then at the end, just. But after every song, like everyone was cheering so loud, and I was like, "This is one of the nice things about off Broadway. Like you can laugh and clap and cheer, and it's fine. They're not going to yell at you."
Yeah. I mean, there was definitely things in the show that, like, warranted, like, reactions, like, I think it would've been weird if, like, people were just, like, silent. They'd be like, "Whoa, what's wrong with the crowd?"
Yeah. And they
Which,
did.
who knows, depending on, because they do have, like, shows that are, like, in the afternoon on Sundays, or the show runs so long, I bet you there's probably been, like, certain shows where, like, people don't react, and they're like, "What's going on?"
And it for a musical like this, you are going to react. Like, how can you
Yeah.
not react to some of the stuff that goes on?
Yeah, I know, I know.
So, the plot it was, I forget, I think the movie came out in '86, I think? I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if
think
it
we did check this.
I
We
don't
checked
know.
this, like, at the theater during, like, intermission.
So it came, 86. So I'll read the description at least from Google. A flower shop assistant, Seymour, pines for co-worker Audrey. During a total eclipse, he discovers an unusual plant that he also names Audrey too, which feeds only on human flesh and blood. The growing plant attracts a great deal of business for the previously struggling store. After Seymour feeds Audrey's boyfriend, Orrin, to the plant after Orrin's accidental death, he must come up with more bodies for the increasingly bloodthirsty plant.
And what a roller coaster it was.
Oh, and honestly, because I've seen the film like so many times, so I guess I was the opposite of you, where you didn't have any expectations because you've never seen it. But like seeing it, I'm like, I wonder how different it is from the movie.
Right.
Is there going to be different music?
Right. Whereas
How
there's
are the
been like
actors?
other
Yeah.
exactly. And like there's been like other musicals where I've definitely seen like the like movie version, so I'd be like
Hmm.
anticipating certain things, but I
Hairspray
don't
for
know.
me
This
was that
yeah.
where I just don't like the musical music, but the
Yeah.
film version I think is great. But then I don't know if it was in Philly or maybe someone just in our neighborhood was doing the show, but when I was watching it, I was like, I don't like half these songs, like they don't fit. It's weird. I don't like it. But I guess maybe because I'm so used to the movie.
I was about to say it's
Yeah.
probably the bias of like the first time you saw it.
Yes.
Because when you were telling me about the like alternate endings of
Oh
like I'll never
yes.
picture this with a different ending besides them spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but
Yes.
all of them dying. Like I won't
Yes.
know like
So
if I see something other
this
than
is
that, I'll
one
be like, oh,
big yeah, this is one big
okay.
spoiler for people who haven't seen it. But
Yeah.
Audrey is dating a dentist who is, I think the term is it a masochist or sadomasochist? Which one?
They say he's a sadist.
Yes. Okay. So he likes
At
giving
least they did
pain.
in our version that
Yeah,
we
yeah.
saw.
He's the one that likes pain, giving pain, all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. Makes sense as
You can
to
tell by
why he's a
the blood
dentist.
smeared walls in his office.
Yes. Which is not in the movie. But I guess obviously you have a stage that's so small, you just kind of have to make do. But Audrey's dating him. He's abusive. Seymour doesn't like that he's abusive. And then once Audrey 2, the plant, comes to life and he realizes, like, he feeds off blood, Audrey 2 convinces him to kill Orrin to basically save Audrey, but also for his own benefit because now Audrey can be his. And then in the film, the guy that plays Mushnik, the flower shop owner, he actually
Yes.
sees him killing or feeding the dentist to the plant.
Oh, okay.
And so, like,
Yeah, in
if you
our
watch,
version, he had
like,
no
if you
idea.
remember in the play, as he's like walking out with Audrey and Seymour talking together, he does kind of gesture towards Corbin Blue's character, like like he knows something happened. And then obviously in the play, he's talking about the blood on the floor and this and
Mhm.
that, and the jacket with the shirt that says his name is in the trash. But in the film, he actually sees him like chopping him up and feeding him to the plant, which is why he ends up
Oh,
killing
okay.
Mushnik. So Mushnik
'Cause
doesn't
he's
go to
gonna
the
go to the police.
authorities. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then the
And then in
original,
the play, he basically has suspicions, but he gets them to fully confess.
yes.
So,
And then he obviously was like, oh, I'm an idiot. The money's inside the plant. Ooh. And then Mushnik's like, okay, well, you're an idiot. Now I got to go get this money. And then dies. Which is,
ugh.
which to me doesn't make sense. Only because how dumb can you really be?
Yeah, I
To
know, that
go
was when
inside the plant. Granted, he
right.
doesn't know that the plant is man eating. So you'd
Yeah.
assume. But it is, like, when you look at Audrey, it's the closest thing you're going to get to a Venus flytrap,
Yeah.
which, if you go near it, it'll bite you.
Right, it closes, yeah.
So, like, imagine if Venus flytrap, triple that size, like the size of a car. If you go near that, you're screwed. So I don't know why
Yeah,
he
like
even, like, I don't even know why he would even do that. But he gets killed. And
yeah.
then towards the end, Audrey comes in, realizes that the plant talks, and Audrey two's like, "Oh, I'm just thirsty. Get me water." And felt bad, and she was like, "Okay, like I'll go get you some water." she ends up dying, and then Seymour just dies with her. Like, he knows that this is the end, and he's not gonna want to live life without her, so he just jumps inside the plant.
Yeah, and by then you've had to suspend your belief a
Yeah.
couple of times. I that's why I didn't like I was just by the time we had reached that point in the musical, I was just having such a amazing
Yes.
whimsical time that I was just like, "Oh yeah," I was just going with it at that
Hmm.
point, you know?
But in the
It was
film,
just such a good show. Oh my god.
in the
The
film,
sets
she
were incredible.
does, yeah, she does get eaten like halfway, and then he
Mhm.
saves her, and she
Right.
survives. And like the original ending is, they get their happy ending, where she calls it somewhere that's green, but your perfect house, your 12-inch TV. You have your husband mowing the lawn and doing all this stuff while you're inside. And then at the very end, they pan all the way to the front of the house where like a little garden is, and you just see a tiny little Audrey 2 sitting in the garden. And so obviously you speculate that, you know, even though they killed Audrey in the film, there's still a part of her that's still there. But then the alternate ending is what it was in the play where they both die.
Right.
And so
That would have been
there's a whole move, like a whole another number in the alternate ending where Audrey 2's singing with Seymour as he's trying to kill her. And then multiple like little Audreys come out, and then he dies, and then the whole ending of like "Don't Feed the Plant" comes around.
right.
It's a really, if you need to watch the film now. It's so
I
good.
know.
Plus,
I'm just wondering if they've ever done any of the, other endings, like, on stage. Probably not, but, like
probably not. Only I assume because plays are the same every time. Like I feel like
Mhm.
once it's a script, it's a script.
True.
But that would be cool if they did have like the other option, just to see what
Yeah, I
that
mean,
would
I
be
wonder
like.
if they would, because they search it they, like, switch out the people,
Yeah,
like, every couple of months, like, it seems to be more frequent than, like, other shows.
yeah,
They just, like, switch out the cast, so I wonder if they switch out the cast, they, like, change certain things. I wonder.
yeah. Or
But
maybe on Broadway would be different than just your normal off Broadway.
true.
Because
I mean, from
it's,
what I'm seeing,
yeah.
it does seem to be consistently at that same theater, and then
Hmm.
they just kind of switch out the cast, but I'm sure it's been on Broadway at one point too,
Yeah, it looks
being
like,
how long it's been around.
so Google, it was a musical first before it was a movie. It was off
Okay.
Broadway. Oh, it's based off a book.
Okay.
I
That
gotta go
makes
find
sense.
this book now. Or is it not a book? Oh no, it's based off the 1960 horror
Like a
comedy
play, maybe?
film. It just says horror comedy film.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So it was a movie first
So
and then a
yeah, it was a
musical?
movie in the 60s,
Okay.
and it's pretty much the same thing. Seymour, Audrey, all that's the same. Looks like. Yeah, Jack Nicholson. Okay, so there was a movie. Remember I was saying Jack Nicholson was in one? So
Mhm.
that he
Yep.
was in the original.
But that was, like, before it was a musical,
Yeah,
right? It was just like okay.
it was like black and white, whatever.
Huh.
And then it became a
The history,
musical.
I had no idea.
Yeah, so in 1982 it was off Broadway, and then in West End, and then in 2003 it was on Broadway. So that
Okay.
long ago.
Hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, it's
I mean,
only
it
been in
seems to
like
be
the UK and
consistently
West.
loved.
Hmm.
You said it's been in the UK. They ever do, like, a traveling tour, I guess?
Yeah, they did.
Hmm.
In '83 it was in West End, which I assume is somewhere in England, right?
Yeah,
Or
I
no?
think.
Yeah, West End
Or
of
no,
London.
West
Yeah.
End, there's also a part of New York that's West End.
Okay. Yeah, it says mainstream professional theater in West London, and then obviously there's a New York one. and then
Oh,
U.S.
okay.
National Tour, Western Revival, 2 UK tours, and then in 2019 came back off Broadway. It's been around for a while. But in the film, Steve Martin's the dentist,
Yeah,
which is so funny.
with that silly, silly hair.
He has like I don't even know what it reminds me of Grease, like that
Yeah,
big
I think that's
swoopy
what it's
kind
supposed to
of.
be like the parody of because he's got like the leather jacket
Hmm.
and you know like the whole Greases stereotype.
Yes, that's the voice he
You know?
has. Oh, it's
Yeah.
so good. And the guy that played um, the dentist in the musical that we were at was
Mhm.
so good.
Yeah. I know, and he ended up playing like a couple of
Oh,
other
random.
characters.
Because I guess his character kind of dies off pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So they just, why bother not doing anything else? Might as well just do some little random
Yeah,
scenes here and there,
exactly,
other
like
characters.
ensemble,
Yeah.
like he's just 3 different, like
Yeah.
journalists that are trying to like buy the plant from Seymour,
Yes.
like make him make money.
Yes. So,
They're like, "I'm gonna make you rich."
yeah, that's the whole idea of the plant
Yeah,
being like, I can give you whatever you want. And he does deliver what he says he is. Like, oh, if you give me, kill this dentist, then Audrey's going to have nothing left but you. So it's like, oh, kill him. Now she's yours. What you wanted the entire time. Oh, and then, so what would you say, out of all the songs, what would you say is like your favorite?
mm. I'm trying to think, I'm gonna get my playbook for this so that
Yeah,
I
I have
can
mine out too.
really
So
yeah,
I was like, I gotta,
have playbook, and then also at the end, another spoiler if you haven't seen the musical, but they throw, like, streaming, like,
oh,
the
yes.
paper,
Yeah, they did it.
and
So,
we
like,
just have, like, a chunk of that and just threw that
yeah.
in my bag for
Oh, I did. Yeah. So
nothing practical about it.
the whole ending was don't feed the plants, right? Doesn't matter
Mhm.
like where you are, plants are gonna get you. So like, don't feed them, and you'll be fine. And then Audrey's like again the size of like a car. It's like massive. She's
Yeah.
coming. She's coming out, and then she
Never
opens her
recognized,
mouth.
I was like, "How close are they
Yes,
gonna get?"
she opens her mouth to a mini Audrey inside of her, and
Yeah.
then like 2 seconds after that, like they shoot out these confetti, not confetti, like these streamer things. I was like, Jesus, I was not expecting that.
Mhm.
Hmm. I would
Yeah, and then
say,
they were paper, but then when they launched out of us, the little, like, endings felt like plastic, so it's
yes.
like, "What was that?"
Yeah, it felt kind of like those hand poppers that you have to twist and then it pops out. That's what I feel
Mhm.
like it kind of reminded me of. I
I
would
mean,
say,
honestly, the opening was really good,
I
and
do,
they do,
yeah.
like, the skid around, like, that song.
Yes, I do like that. And I do love
It
Suddenly
was also good.
Seymour. It's a
Yeah.
classic, and you have Seymour and Audrey singing together. So for me, because we made sure we saw it on a day when Corbin, Bleu, and Jinkx Monsoon were there.
Right, because they did tell you on the
Yes,
website when, they weren't gonna be there.
yes. And I cared more about seeing Jinkx than Corbin, but my
Yeah.
childhood me was like, oh, like we definitely have to see if we can get a day that Corbin Bleu is there.
It was really such a random thing because like, so many, like, random actors have, played these roles, like,
Yes.
Darren Criss has been in the show,
And Jonathan Groff
um,
that plays the king in
in Hamilton, yeah.
Hamilton. He's also in Glee, if you ever seen Glee. He played
Mhm.
Seymour, I think it says in the 2019 off Broadway,
Okay.
which is really cool.
Yeah, and then they've had, the most recent, like, Audreys besides Jinx have been, Evan Rachel Wood and,
Oh,
Constance Wu.
oh
Yeah.
yes,
I think Evan Rachel Wood was with, Darren Criss,
oh
and then
nice.
Constance Wu did a little bit of time with, Corbin Bleu, and then they switched to Jinx. So,
I didn't.
that's
I
just, like,
don't
more
know.
recent, like,
Like
this year.
Constance Wu doesn't seem like someone that would play a role like Audrey.
I know, but she was pretty good in I don't know if you've ever seen Crazy Rich Asians.
No,
It's a
I
really
still
good
need
movie.
to.
You need to. It's a very good movie, but she was good in that. So like, I don't know if she maybe it was. I mean, everybody's gonna do their own like version of the role, so you're probably not gonna
Yeah.
get the same thing every time.
Mm-hmm.
But I like wonder what voices everybody else does
Yes.
because Jinkx had a good voice.
Jinkx.
Mr. Mushnick.
Yes. One the original, at
Great.
least in the film, with Steve Martin and what's his face?
I know. I
It's
can
gonna
never think of
bother
his
me. It's going
the guy
to.
from Honey I Shrunk the Kids.
Yes.
Yep. Rick Moranis?
Yes, Rick Moranis.
Yeah. Okay.
But like Ellen Green, she I think was also in one of the off Broadway ones,
Mhm.
plus the movie. Hers was amazing too,
That
but
voice.
she had a very like high pitched, like ditzy blonde kind of sound. And then
Gotcha.
Jinkx just sounded like Jinkx.
Yeah.
But it was great because she can do so many voices.
Mhm.
So it's just funny because she was going through it, and then different parts she would sound slightly different, but it worked.
Well, it was the comedy of it
The
all,
comedy, yeah.
you know? Like I just remember like seeing her on um Drag Race and All Stars, so when I heard she was doing this, I was like,
Oh yes,
yeah, that makes sense. Like
yeah. Well, and then in
it
Drag
suits her.
Race because she did Natasha Lyonne,
Uh-huh.
and then she also did in the same episode. She also did Judy Garland, and so like
Iconic.
it's iconic. It's amazing. It's so funny, and she makes a reference to her other season that she was in. It's so good. But seeing how she can go from someone like that to someone like this, like her
I
range
know.
is amazing.
Yeah. And that's why I feel like she's just getting started on Broadway,
Oh yeah, and she's in
you know?
Chicago on Broadway as
Yeah,
well.
after the run
Yeah.
for this, I believe.
Yes. So
But she's
it's
done Chicago before, so
mhm.
apparently she's coming back.
Yeah, and then for Corbin Bleu, obviously he's in all the High School Musical trilogies. But he was in
Mhm.
Hairspray, Mamma Mia, Godspell,
Singing in the Rain.
Sing in the Rain. He played Jesus
I'd
in
like to see
Godspell,
you ever see that movie, Singing in the Rain?
probably a long time ago.
You need to, it's very good. It's got Debbie Reynolds in it from she's
Oh,
the grandmom
Halloween
in Halloween Town.
Town.
But
Yes.
she's like very young in that movie
Oh,
because that movie's from like the 60s, I want to say,
yeah.
50s, something like that. But that's honestly one of my favorite musicals. I would love
It's
to see
so
that
good.
on Broadway.
They would do that with.
He was also in Mary Poppins. He played Bert in Mary
Oh,
Poppins.
yes, he did.
How
Yeah.
about that? That's good.
Oh, and then Jinkx Monsoon, for all you Doctor Who fans. She's going to be in Doctor Who.
Yes. I saw
Major.
the
It just
preview.
says a major villain. It doesn't. Oh, did you?
I saw like the preview of it, but I don't know like the context or like the lore of Doctor Who, so I don't know if it means more to people that watch the show.
Probably. I
But
just know like every time they do Doctor Who, it's a different doctor.
yeah, they always switch it out with like
Yes.
every, and I don't know how their seasons work exactly, but every time there's like a new season, like you said, it's a new
Yeah.
Doctor.
Which is cool because
But
it keeps things interesting.
hmm much like what they do with this play, they just kind of like
Yeah. Because
give
she
different
she was
actors a
only going to
chance.
be in it until what, June?
hmm
And then Corbin Bleu was only in it in April.
I think
May.
only this month. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
And
think
then
I don't know who's coming back or I don't know. We'll have
maybe
to
one of
see.
the understudies.
Maybe. True. Do they even list understudies in our playbook? I don't think so.
I think they do somewhere.
Not for the main roles. I don't
No.
think.
I think the other roles they do. I'm gonna find it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
Don't think so.
Oh, they put them all in a group, but it says for like
Oh.
Moshnik, Aaron, Oren, and others. So they
Oh.
just have like a couple
Yeah.
people, I guess, that
But
can do multiple
yes.
roles. What?
I just can't. Like this, I know, and I was skeptical, obviously, because I've seen the film.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, even though I love Jinkx and I love Corbin Bleu, I'm like, am I gonna like not hate it, but am I gonna dislike it more because it's not what I expected to see?
Right.
But it was so good.
At 5 minutes in, I was like, "Oh, good decision."
Yes.
As soon as
Yeah.
I heard like the first song and I saw like what this like how intricate the set was gonna look,
Oh
like
yeah.
it was the theater where like you look up and you can see like the brick wall like
Yes.
at the top and
Hmm.
everything. I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a treat."
And then they
Yeah,
had like
we had ourselves a day. We had our little field trip.
yes. Driving there wasn't awful. Well, I wasn't driving, so maybe that's why I'm saying it
That's
wasn't
what
as
I mean. I
bad.
was about to say my poor fiance.
Like driving there, it was a long drive, but like it
Mhm.
wasn't too bad traffic wise. But
Yeah, I think the next time, well, I think we want to go back. Day trip is like the only way because a little Lemmy
yeah,
makes it hard to stay overnight. But we're definitely thinking that the train is the next
yeah, I
way to
because
get there next time.
when I went to see Wicked on Broadway,
Mhm.
we did a Bolt bus,
A
and
Bolt bus.
yeah, it's the Bolt bus, and one of your tickets,
BOLT. I'm just making sure I'm hearing you right.
yeah,
Okay.
and so the one ticket is $1, and then on the way
Really?
back you have to pay the full price. I don't know if they still
Oh,
have that, but
okay.
that was pretty good. But obviously
I
taking
mean,
the
we can I'm gonna look it up,
yeah,
definitely. I think I did do that a while ago to go to New York. Yeah, actually, this had to have been 2013, 2014. I was really into the, band called Emily's Army. I don't know if you ever heard of them, but it's,
no.
what's his name from Green Day? Billy Joe Armstrong?
Oh,
His
I didn't
son's
know he had another band.
his son's band. No, no,
Oh,
no, it was his
son.
son's band.
Oh,
Yeah, and I had my one friend was, really into them, and then we just kinda all went because it was like, "Oh, it's cool, yeah, we'll go to New York," and
yeah,
went to this, like, burger place too, and then we went to kinda like a sandwich shop too this time. We had some good food.
yeah. Friedman's.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
We originally were, scheduled to go to because you can only they have, like, I wanna say 5 or 6 different locations in New York, but only some of them take reservations. So we had a reservation, but then when we got there, I realized how actually far it was,
yeah,
and I was like, "Ooh, this doesn't seem like." So thank God we had one that was closer to the theater that you didn't need reservations for, but it was thankfully not crowded at the time.
yeah.
It was about,
And
like, what?
we got
We
seated right
walked, like,
away.
6 we walked, like, s yeah, exactly. It was basically empty, but we got, like, 6 blocks. It's amazing how, like, fast the blocks go by in New York.
Yeah.
Like, we walked, like, 10 minutes, and it had been, like, what, like, 6, 8 blocks, something like that.
Hmm.
So it wasn't bad at all.
No.
Our food was
And then, well, we
scrumptious,
got the
I
same
do say
thing.
myself. Yeah, we all
We all,
free
yes.
chicken
It
sandwiches.
was, yeah, it was, honestly, that was a really good, it was a fried chicken sandwich,
Mhm.
pickles, and then I took out the lettuce and tomatoes,
Yeah,
but it was so good. And then it's like sriracha aioli or something
I
on
think
it.
so, yeah, or, like, a chipotle something,
Chipotle, maybe. And then I got mine with a side
something
of
like that.
tomato soup. Oh, oof.
Yep, it was good.
And it's weird because you would
We
assume that,
should we one thing though, we should've got the cheesecake.
yeah, well, a lot of it's gluten free, which is nice
Yeah.
because you guys eat gluten free.
Yes, we
Yeah.
do,
So it's really nice
often.
that they have those options, which is fine. And the food itself, totally fine. It's the
Mhm,
dessert where they made it seem like it was a nice warm brownie with like the ice cream. But
mhm.
then the brownie itself was so not dry,
It
but
was a
like
texture that we didn't expect,
yeah,
is what I'll say.
it tasted like a brownie. The texture was weird. And I think
Yeah,
that again
and
it
it's
is
not
the
like you can't
gluten.
make gluten-free brownies. I've had them, we've made them. You
Yeah.
can definitely do it, so I don't
So
know. I just need to
I don't know what it was, and the size was fine, everything out the ice cream was fine, but
it was
when
like a
I think
mousse, really,
yeah,
in my opinion, like a
yeah,
thicker
it's
like
more
a
like yeah.
frozen mousse.
And so when I think about it and the way it's described, I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna get a little bit of
Mhm.
ice cream with the nice warm brownie. And then I tried to like use the spoon on it, and I was like, okay, all right, I guess.
And again, it's not it's you can make it's very easy to make, gluten-free brownies. I've done it before, so
Yeah,
I'll just, like, basically make I gotta just make, like, a good version of that 'cause it can be done.
yeah,
You literally just have to switch out the flour. It's
yeah. And then
pretty
the
easy.
cheesecake was looked good.
I had a tiny little taste of the
Oh,
cheesecake.
was
It
it
was good.
good? It looked good.
Yes, it was good.
Can't go wrong with cheesecake.
True.
But
I'll be getting that
yeah,
next time if we go to any other
but it's weird
locations.
too because when I was originally looking online at what I wanted, I was looking at the other restaurant. You would assume that I've never seen restaurants that are the same restaurant that have different food options.
Like, menus, yeah, 'cause I think they
Yeah,
just kinda go with the vibe of, like, where they are, I
I guess
guess, I don't
so.
know.
Yeah, because when I was really like looking at it,
Mhm.
I think it was the one where you made the reservation for. It was like this tomatoey thing that had all the stuff in it. I was like, this looks really good. And it came with bread. And
Yeah.
then we get there and it's basically like salad and chicken. And I was like, all right, still good though.
Yeah, it
But
was good. That was just, like, one of the smaller locations, but, it would've been a very miserable, very long walk. So, like we said, the next time
God,
if we're, like,
yeah,
in that other area, then we'll try the other ones,
yeah.
and it's a shame because the one in the theater district for there it was literally, like, a block away
Hmm.
from the theater where we were. It, fills up so fast with reservations because there's, during that time, like, in the evening, people, like, dance and, like,
Mm-hmm.
sing. So, like,
Yeah,
that those reservations book, like, months, months, months in advance
yeah.
for that location. And I remember throwback to when we went in college, we went to a place like that when we
Yeah, we went to
ate.
the Stardust Diner.
Mhm. Yep.
And that's where I think that's one of the only few restaurants that do that kind of stuff. But they had like an upper
Mhm.
and lower floor, and then all the waiters and waitresses sing, and then you can obviously request music for them to sing. And if they have the time, or if it's a song that they can do, they'll do your request, which is kind of cool.
It was quite charming.
Yes,
I'll
and
never forget the, dessert that I got at that, place.
well, I
It was
still
a cake themed for Frozen,
yes,
and I
I
remember
have
that was
that
when
picture.
Frozen was very big.
Let me let me double check my Instagram. I'm pretty sure that's the first post I ever made. Was a piece of cake.
Mhm. I think it was. 'Cause I think you made your Instagram while we were like, the
Yeah,
day after New York, I wanna say.
I think so. And then I think one of my other I gotta scroll back real far now.
I know.
Okay. Yeah.
Back in
Great
the day.
caption. The caption for this cake, let it go. Because it was the Frozen themed, yeah, cake. And it's called Ellen's Stardust
You were like, "Oh,
Diner.
I'm gonna get him with this one."
Hmm.
Does that count as your throwback for the week? No.
No, no, I have a good one.
That is the
I definitely have.
but,
Then
yeah, so what we can say about New York, highly recommend seeing a show, highly recommend getting some good food.
highly don't
Don't really re
recommend driving.
Yeah, yeah, we will be taking the train next time, or
Yes.
maybe I could look into what you guys did
Yeah.
for the Bolt bus thing.
It just takes longer, obviously, by bus. I think it takes like an extra hour
Mhm. Yeah.
because they're not
'Cause
as
they have to
fast.
go to a
Yeah.
certain, they also have to go to a certain place. Like, with
Yeah.
a car, you can just find parking as soon as you get in, like, that was the
Hmm.
thing. That was the one as close that I could get to, like, where we first got in,
Yeah.
like, as possible. Cause I found that parking through the theater website, so
Oh, yeah. Which is also great that they
Oh, yeah.
have, because who knows if we would have found that place if we
Right,
didn't.
exactly.
But
It was kind of, like, down the street, like, kind of, like, near the theater, but, like, another block and a half down, but
mm,
I'm really glad that I really wish in Philly that you could, like maybe there is places and I just don't know about them, like, reserving ahead of time,
oh
but
yeah, I didn't know that existed until one of my family members was like, "Hey, you guys need to call ahead
do
of
this.
time. Yeah, do this. Call ahead of time and
Mhm. Yeah, and I was
figure
able to
this
book it
out."
online.
Yeah.
Took, like, 5 minutes. Not even. Nice
Let's
and simple.
yes. So I'm reading Jinkx's theater stuff. She was
Mhm.
in Rent, which have
Does
you
it say
ever
what
seen
part
Rent?
she played in Rent?
Yeah, Angel.
Yes.
I don't remember which one Angel is.
Oh, yep. Yep. Angel is, well, it's always like, it's typically played by a man dressing as a woman,
Ah,
usually.
okay. Makes sense.
Yes. So I think a lot of, people in drag have played that
Yeah.
role.
I kind of
Yeah,
remember.
Rent is very emotional. It's
Oh,
very
it
sad. I've
says.
only seen them I've listened to the music a bunch, but I've only fully watched the, movie one time
I
because I
think
couldn't
I
handle it
saw.
again.
I think I saw bits and pieces of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, there's also been, like, live performances of that, like, it's wild when you know how, like, on TV they'll do those, like, live musicals, like,
Hmm.
every year or
They're always
every
so
6
bad.
months, like, they'll have
Yeah.
one in the spring. I know, but, they did Rent live one time, and, Vanessa Hudgens was in it. So,
Really? She was in the
yes.
Hairspray one, wasn't? Or not Hairspray. Grease.
Um, Ariana Grande was in the Hairspray one.
Yeah, and
But yeah, Vanessa was,
Grease.
I wanna say she was Rizzo
I
in
think
Grease?
so. And then what's
Yeah.
her face? Julianne Hough was in it, I think.
Oh, yeah, she was, Sandy.
Yep.
I
But I
don't know
read
who,
because I was looking up the
Zuko
character
was.
from Rent that she played,
Yeah.
and it looks like Valentina from RuPaul's Drag Race also played her,
Oh, okay.
or is playing her.
Okay. Yeah, Rent I would go see, but it's again, I don't know. When I wanna go see a musical, I want something like I know this was like they all died at the end, but it was like silly, like Little Shop of
Yeah,
Horrors. Like I'm more so when I wanna see a musical, I wanna see something like that. Or like something that's gonna like not be like sad. Like
yeah.
I love like Les Mis, like the story of Les Mis, but I
It
don't know if I
is.
can go
It's
see
so
and watch
sad.
that live.
No,
It is good. But
it's
like
so
when I wanna
good,
go
but
see like a show,
yeah.
I want something happy. That's just me.
Like
Like
even Wicked, like it has its
mhm.
moments that are obviously not incredibly sad, but like sadder, but even
Emotional.
emotional. But like the ending is still so good,
Mhm.
and like it doesn't like yeah, like Rent would never want to see that live.
Yeah.
Rent, uh, what else? There's a bunch that I feel like would be difficult to see live.
Okay, so I saw Mary Poppins in 2015. Was this the No, that wasn't high school. That was when I saw it in Philly, was 2015.
I feel like that would be good live
It was. It was.
because the music already. And I was watching, unrelated, but I was watching Julie Andrews. I don't know when she did the interview, but she did an interview talking about like how they go past all their like old movies and
Uh-huh.
watch clips and talk about it. And she was talking about all the plays and movies that she was in.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, it was sometime last year, but she was going over Mary Poppins and how like her husband at the time, he made like all the costumes,
Oh,
and they
wow.
actually like took the time to like talk to each person and like see what their style was.
Mhm.
And I was like, that's amazing to have someone that cares that much to go through all of that for just one
Yeah.
film. She,
I
Julie
know.
Andrews, she just has such a good voice. And just hearing her talk about all the films and stuff that she was in.
Mhm. And I can't believe the first thing I've ever seen her in was, I mean, I think I saw The Sound of Music when I was very young, but I didn't
Yeah,
really fully comprehend it, and then I appreciated it more as I got older, but first thing I ever saw her in was, Princess Diaries.
yes. And we,
And I love that one scene when she's teaching her how to walk and she goes, "So we don't slump."
yes.
I
Wait, and I
think that's
forget,
like
is
the
this
first
the,
thing I've ever seen of her.
it was it the first Princess Diaries? I think it might have been. It was the second
Mhm.
one. Remember when she's arm wrestling with that
Yeah, 6,
machine?
both of them. They will be mentioned shortly in an
Yes.
upcoming episode that we've been thinking about doing.
We've been
But
planning.
anyway.
But isn't I think it's the first one where she's like arm wrestling. Remember with the robot?
Uh-huh.
and I can't
Yes.
remember if that's the first or second one, but
Hmm.
so good.
Yeah, I can't believe how like that her like start in Mary Poppins and The Sound of Music happened so long ago. Because I'm just thinking about how the like her co-star in Mary Poppins, he's still kicking. He's like 98 years old.
No, no,
Bert.
he's no,
Yeah, Dick Van Dyke is still alive.
really.
Oh yes. Oh
Oh,
yes. Oh yes. Yes, he's still alive.
wait,
I will Google it right now, but yes, he's still
Google
alive.
it.
He was also in I don't know if you remember another Throwback Night at the museum.
Was he in that? What was he in that?
Uh-huh. He was like the old like security. We have to talk about this movie, maybe cover it in a future thing, but he was the older security guard that like passed the torch on to Ben Stiller. But
Ah,
yes, 6 days ago there's an article. Dick Van Dyke earns historic daytime Emmy nomination at age 98. He is still
98.
alive. Yep, he's still alive. Born December 13th, 1925.
20. And then
I
I'm
don't
looking
know
up
how this guy's still alive. Let
Julie
me.
Andrews, and she's 88, and I'm thinking like that's old.
Uh-huh, 1935. Yeah, she's 10 years younger than him. That's crazy.
Wow.
I don't know. Some people are just meant to live long, I guess. He probably lives in did you ever hear of these like parts in the United States that are like I forget, they're called like blue zones or something? And like everybody like in them is like 100 or like 90 something plus, and they're just like known for like having the areas
Whoa,
of
but
the.
that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I gotta look it up, but there is apparently like a whole documentary about it. I think this was mentioned on an episode of a podcast that we enjoy called "You Can Sit with Us," and they talked about a documentary where there's like blue zones. There's only one in the United States, but then there's a bunch like international too, where like
Yeah.
everybody in the area is like very healthy and lives like a very healthy lifestyle, and they're like in their like 90s or older, and they're called like blue
Wow.
zones, like in the U.S. or and internationally. So I'm gonna assume that Dick Van Dyke's in the one that's in California.
Yeah.
Maybe. That and money, good combination.
Yeah, good money, and you can probably afford to get all the proper care you need.
Right, right, exactly. And I just think some people are just meant to live that long, I
Yeah.
guess. Just when it's your time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we went down a little rabbit hole of
Oh,
musicals there, but
oh, also
we're
speaking
just
of
geeking out.
musicals, because you know how like in the playbooks they tell you what's like, have you seen these? And obviously you have like
Hmm.
Wicked and The Wiz and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But then the one that got me the most that I saw, well, there's a bunch. Back to the Future. Okay, don't know how that's a musical.
you know.
The Notebook.
The one that got me was The Outsiders, because that was
Oh
speaking of
yes,
going back to school, that was definitely like one of the first like full novels that I like actually read. That wasn't like
yes,
that was like in junior high, so I don't know.
yeah. The
I guess anything can be a
Outsiders,
musical if you try hard enough.
and in the description, because all the musicals have like a brief little sentence. The
Hmm.
Outsiders, an impressively original production, thrilling, courageous, and hypnotic. Is it hypnotic?
Hypnotic.
Hypnotic. The Outsiders. That's really what I think of.
I don't know. I
And
don't know.
then
That's definitely a choice adjective. I'm just
yeah, The Notebook is also one.
uh-huh.
Again,
True.
I'm not sure. Hell's Kitchen.
I don't even know what Hell's Kitchen is about.
I
Is it
don't know, but
supposed to be
Alicia
like
Keys is making the music for it.
Queen? It's probably good, no matter what it is.
Yeah, that's true. Wait, I gotta Hell's
I'd like to see
Kitchen.
Moulin Rouge at some point.
That would be good.
I know. That was in Philly last year too, but I hadn't seen it, and then I watched the. That's a good movie. If you haven't seen that, it's like a movie in the from the '90s, I want to say.
I think I
That's
might have.
got Nicole Kidman and Ewan McGregor.
I
They're
probably
like the
have.
main. It's good.
So Hell's Kitchen is a jukebox musical with a book by
Uh
Christopher
huh.
Diaz and music by Alicia Keys. It's the
Huh.
semi autobiographical telling the story of Keys' upbringing in Manhattan in the 90s. Okay.
Oh, that's cool. It's gonna be
Um,
all of her songs.
yes. But I'm just confused as to why it's called Hell's Kitchen.
Cause that's like the area of New York,
Oh,
like
is
where
it?
we were. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, it's
okay.
literally called Hell's Kitchen.
I see.
Yeah,
That makes more sense.
and that's, like, the area where we were, like, the
Yeah.
theater and, like, the restaurant. That was all considered Hell's Kitchen. That's, like
I see.
it's like it's like the theater district, but, like, outside of,
Yeah.
Times Square.
And then there was the musical, and I didn't know what this was. But then I saw, I think there was a picture in our playbook of this musical.
Mhm.
What? Limpica?
Yeah, very
Remember?
scandalous, picture on the top of a taxi
Yeah,
that
I
I
gotta.
saw.
Was
It's
it
there
like?
somewhere.
I gotta see if it's in
I'd
the
like to
play.
say Aladdin. I think that would be
Aladdin.
what we would go see. I would love to see Aladdin.
I feel like they would do that justice because they do
Mhm.
everything crazy on Broadway. So doing the whole scene where they're on the carpet, like a whole new world, all of that, and the
True.
genie.
Yeah, all the Disney shows have
Yeah.
they run for years for a reason, you
Oh
know?
yeah.
I think
Yes.
at this point, Lion King and Aladdin are, like, the ones that are, like, the
Yeah.
most recent ones that I remember from Disney. That and Mary Poppins, and Mary
Mary
Poppins
Poppins.
seems
Yeah.
to have stopped within the last couple of years. So,
So
I don't
so
know.
Limpica, there's an ad in the playbook, and it's some
Uh-huh.
lady standing next to a canvas, and it's two people butt naked. Um, a female and one of her tits is
This is
out.
the plot.
And this is the plot. One of her tits is out. And he's facing the opposite direction, so his ass is just in your face. But it's like on a canvas, as if it's like a picture or like a painting or a portrait or something. And she says, "Between wars, between lovers, between brushstrokes, she
It's
made a
gotta be
name
about
for
painters.
herself." I feel like it,
It's
but
gotta be
why?
about artists then.
But I'm just confused as to why there's naked people on a canvas.
Maybe that's what they paint. I don't know.
Maybe. It's synopsis. The musical follows the life of Zelenpika as she flees the Russian Revolution to Paris
Oh,
with her husband Te- Tadeusz and daughter Cosette. Facing the rise of fascism, she takes the painting to survive, and when she meets the free-spirited Raffaella, a prostitute on the fringes of the Parisian society, she's torn between the life she cherishes with her husband and the passion, ambition, and possibility awoken in her by her new muse.
huh.
But also,
And less scandal.
she has a daughter. So why would you? And again, maybe this is just me, but like, how are you torn between your muse and your husband and child? I don't under. I don't understand.
You just had to be there. I don't know.
You just have to. I mean, clearly her muse is clearly her muse is naked. According to this ad.
Less scandal.
Put that on a
They're
t-shirt.
skate. Put that on a t-shirt,
Put
right?
that on a t-shirt.
Oh man.
I'm just
Oh,
and now like I'm wondering, is this tempting? Based off of like if I didn't read that to you and you just saw the ad with the two naked people, would you be compelled to see that musical?
not really, because
No.
again, like I said, I like the fun, lighthearted
Yeah,
musicals
and then
or
after
stuff.
hearing the
I like funny
synopsis,
stuff, you know? I
yeah,
wanna
and
laugh.
after hearing the synopsis, are you changing your mind?
No,
No.
no, because the closest I got to something like that is, like, Les Mis, but again, I like the movie, I don't know if I'd ever actually, like,
Yeah.
see it on Broadway. It's so long too.
And still pending to see if they won any awards.
I see.
Is this a real person? Is
In
Limpika
case you were
real?
dying in
She
case
is.
anyone was dying to know.
Limpika is a real person.
Okay. I mean, a lot of times when people write about their lives,
That's true.
it'll be like the
Oh, yeah, she died in 1980, but she
riff.
was born in 1898. Wow. Oh, she was married to the first guy that she had the kid with. They got divorced in 1931, and then in 1934, she married someone named Raoul Kufner. So did she?
What a name.
Wait, a scandal. Did she?
You're getting into the lore of this.
Did
You're gonna
she?
go see it. You're like, I'm gonna go see it myself.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go by myself. Because what if the musical also has naked men?
Hey.
Maybe I should go see it. Oh. But I'm
So
wondering, like,
you're gonna get one ticket for your birthday. We're gonna send you on a bus. And
get me a bolt bus just to see Olympica. Hold on.
just no, but wait, that'll be for your birthday. Be like, we rented out this Bolt bus. Oh, everybody's gonna go. No, you're just gonna go.
Oh wow, everyone's joining me on. No. Well, you don't want to. No. And you don't want to come. No. We're good. But now it makes me wonder because now I'm into this story. Did she? Because in real life it says she's married to the first guy, and they got divorced in 31, and she remarried in 34 to the other guy. Is this other guy the free-spirited guy that was a prostitute? Like, did she literally divorce her husband and get with the prostitute?
Only one way to find out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with
Put you on a Bolt bus.
And wait, and then in personal life it says bisexuality.
Oh, okay.
So she was bisexual, and her affairs with both men and women were conducted in ways that were considered scandalous at the time. She used formal and narrative
You said it
elements.
was you said it was during like a war, right?
Yeah.
So it was probably like not, and even if it is recent, a lot of countries are very closed-minded still to this day.
And wait, so she often used formal and narrative elements in her portraits, and her nude studies included themes of desire and seduction.
Nice.
And then in 1920s, so all the way back in the 1920s, she became closely associated with lesbian and bisexual women in writing and artistic circles. Yeah, so the 1920s, that's not a thing.
Right, exactly. That was probably the most scandalous news story of that year.
Yeah. I'm wondering, do you know, I don't know if there's an actual time frame, but do you know when, like, the spectrum, well, not the spectrum, but, like, when all that was really brought up? Like, bisexuality and all that.
I guess you could go to, like, when Stonewall happened.
Yeah.
Like, the brick Stonewall, that was, like, what, 70s, 80s? I mean, a lot of things were brought to light and people's rights were reconsidered. They should have never had to have been considered in the first place because what the hell, people are people. But a lot of like legislation came about when like the AIDS epidemic happened, and a lot of that, and Stonewall, and still being debated now for whatever reason because people are dumb.
So here's the list of all the musicals that they're saying is happening now. There's Life After Romeo and Juliet. Okay. Book of Mormon. I heard that was good.
Yeah, they've had that in Philly too.
The Neil Diamond musical, A Beautiful Noise. No. Cabaret. Aladdin, Chicago. Sarah Paulson's in a musical.
What is she in?
Appropriate. My brain.
Oh, I'm looking right at it too. There you go. People magazine calls it the hottest ticket in town.
Oh, I love the descriptions. Like the Back to the Future.
But doesn't that sound like Doesn't that sound like a stereotypical like critic reviewing a musical? The hottest ticket in town.
Yeah, they generated like a chat GPT.
That sounds like how people talk. Ooh, Newsies is great.
Yes, like they went to chat GPT and were like, give us a great review of this musical called and that's what they came up with. And then Back to the Future is a jaw-dropping spectacle. Okay.
I don't know how they do it. I don't know. Because everything in the movie was like CGI.
Tell me, like, as they're making their way back to the future, they just stop and sing about it first?
Flux capacitor.
Yes. They just start singing about the 90s. They're
Yeah,
going
but
to
it's
the
wild because at one point then it goes back to being in the 50s because when he goes back to the you know what I mean?
yes,
Because then so it's like I just
and
maybe it's good. I don't know. Maybe they've translated it on the screen well. I don't know.
yes, and then The Great
But Broadway's
Gatsby's.
so expensive. It's like you don't want to pay $200 and then find out you didn't like it.
Yeah, so at least with this one, I knew I already liked the film. Plus, Jinkx and Corbin were in it, so I'm like, even if I
That's
didn't
what I
end
was
up, yeah,
trusting a lot. Like I knew I
hmm
was gonna enjoy it, but like I was trusting that a lot. And then I think again I liked it because it was a small theater, so everything was like you felt like you were literally there.
hmm
You know what I mean? Like when you go to like a bigger theater, like main like Broadway, like things are all spaced out, and you're like,
yeah,
yeah, that is a stage with like you know what I mean. But we were
yeah.
so close, and like the
Oh,
theater
and
was
even
so
yeah,
small. That was definitely a part of the charm because it literally felt like we were in the scene,
yeah. And
basically.
then The Great Gatsby is a musical, a new
Oh, okay.
musical, and the description from the New York Times: lush, bewitching, and dazzling. I can get
That sounds
dazzling.
correct. That sounds correct.
I mean, I
So,
get the dazzling part of it, but
well, have you ever seen the movie?
bewitching,
The most
yeah.
recent like movie that came out?
I saw the one with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, that was the one I was
Yeah,
talking about. That was very good.
and then Limpica, because now I'm gonna get my birthday ticket.
Now
Um,
you're a mess.
a stirring, epic blockbuster musical from the New York Times.
I mean, what more can you say? You
What
know?
naked people and New York Daily Times saying it's great. Um, so put that on a
Sign
T-shirt.
me up. No.
And then one called Patriots.
You know, maybe other people's thing, not
It's
mine.
from the creator of The Crown. Okay,
Never seen it.
me
Heard about
neither.
it.
And then again, The Outsiders. I don't understand. Then you have one called Mary Jane,
It's the
Rachel McAdams.
Regina George herself, Rachel McAdams.
Yes.
See, now both Regina Georges have been on Broadway because Mean Girls was a
Yes.
musical at one point.
The Wiz. That I don't
That's a
know if
good
I would
movie.
see.
That's a wild movie. If you've
I
never
gotta
seen The
watch
Wiz,
that.
that's wild.
I think I've
Wild.
seen bits and
I
pieces.
think they should too. I think I watched it in grade school. I think they like played it in school, which I think honestly they probably shouldn't have because there's parts of it that scared me as a kid.
Now I feel like I gotta watch it.
Mhm.
And there's also um one called Uncle Vanya.
Uncle Vanya.
Uncle Vanya.
Vanya. I feel like it's
But
like
also
what is it,
like
Swedish? I don't know. Vanya.
it sounds Swedish, but also no description from the New York Times. So how do
Ooh,
I know if it's good?
the picture's very unsettling. It's like has this guy like standing and then his like he's like fading away, almost like when people got Thanos snapped. Like he
Yes,
looks like that,
yes, that's exactly what it looks
doesn't
like.
he look
Yeah.
like? And he's turning into leaves. So I don't know what's
You know who we're going to see? The Blue Man
who.
Group. Just disrupting reality since 1991.
What a great
Yes.
description.
Nice.
Disrupting reality.
Yeah.
I think that should be the tagline of this episode.
Dis-
Disrupting reality since
yes.
1994.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Stalker. There's one called Stalker, and it just says, oh, here you go, Stalker.
We put the
Magic gets
review.
personal. That's the tagline. Do you know who says it's absolutely amazing?
None
Simon
other than Simon
Simon
Cowell.
Cowell. Okay, because
This is the
he's.
Penn and Teller show. They're magicians. That's a magic show.
I guess.
Because it says Penn or like it
Oh,
might
Penn and
yeah,
Teller.
because it
Yeah,
says Penn and Teller presents. This might be like people that are like I don't know, maybe they're prodigies.
yeah. It's
Those are
just
new
funny
people.
because like Simon Cowell. Like, do you really think he's writing a whole review? No.
They paid him. They're like, please, sir, please.
Please, can I have some
We
more,
need.
sir? Can you just write like a review? Absolutely amazing. That works.
Like I'll
They
do it
pay
for
they paid him like
a billion
$100K.
dollars.
Yeah, You just got
I'd say
paid.
$1 billion.
Oh yeah, just paid $1 million just to say something was amazing.
I wouldn't be surprised. I
I mean,
wouldn't be surprised.
okay, because I feel
Simon
like,
Cowell has a lot of money.
yeah.
After all,
Well,
he's
have you
responsible for
seen,
making One
going off a
Direction.
tangent to, Simon Cowell, but like,
Oh man.
have you seen what he looks like now?
Yeah, something's wrong. I don't
Something
know what
does not
happened, but
add up.
something's wrong.
Look at him when One Direction was around.
Mhm.
The people age, okay, but like when you looked at him from his American Idol days to like
Mhm.
the One Direction days, like he looks older. Obviously, he aged, but then you look at him now. I think he's turning into Khloe Kardashian and having like 8 million faces.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
people get plastic surgery. They do things to their face that they don't need
yeah,
to.
I don't know. Some
Could be a bunch of
people,
things. It's probably Botox though. I don't know.
yeah, his face. I just
Sir, your face.
Can you imagine going up to him and being like, "Sir, your face."
Just walking away.
Sir,
Sorry.
not, sir, not to be rude, but your face. Could you imagine? Um,
Keep
going
it.
on a
We should
no,
put
you
that in a
imagine going on
t-shirt.
America's Got Talent, when she's not there anymore. But like,
Oh yeah, he's not
or
even
I
there
guess
anymore.
maybe he's on Britain's Got Talent,
End of an era.
or like,
End of an era.
yeah, but going on a show like that and just sir, your
Your
face.
face.
I can't stop just crying. No, because there's the picture on Google. And I know you've seen this picture, but they show him like at 3 different stages in his life. And one of them was
Mhm.
obviously like the American Idol days. One was like, I don't even know how you would describe his face. And then one's like the current transformation, which looks even worse.
Mhm.
I'm gonna send it to you. Hold on. Because you have to see like is he good?
It'll be in the post of this episode with no context.
And it's honestly okay. Look at his face. We're posting this at some point. Look at his
Uh
face.
huh. Where did you send it? Oh, on Discord.
No, I texted it.
Oh, okay. I just got it just now. Yeah, something's. I don't know.
And
Sorry,
every
your face.
it's bad. Everyone ages, I get it, but like that's why do some people do that to themselves? Like you were fine before, and if you just let yourself age normally, you would have been fine, but you had to go get plastic surgery and now you look like that.
Yeah, and things can get like botched and like not done well.
Yeah,
So
and I know
I don't
like
know.
Zac Efron, he obviously got work done, but I think he said that he was in some sort of
Well,
like
injury. That
injury.
was what happened.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I think he got work done to like correct it and then it didn't go as planned. So
Yeah.
he still looks good, but like you can tell if he got something done. I think Rose McGowan from Charmed was the same way where she was in a car accident and then
Mhm.
went to go get it fixed and they butchered it and so now she looks the way she does.
Yeah. I mean, you never know what happens in
Yeah.
people's lives, but they do have like the money to like fix certain things.
But if you're gonna have the money, and again, it's not their fault, but like maybe do your research. Like, because now you have a botched face.
And then there's a whole show dedicated to that. So
Yes,
there's a market for everything.
there is.
Just to show you.
Yes.
Ugh.
Speaking of
Dude.
nothing, um, I, because I constantly go through my Facebook memories.
Mhm.
I don't know, and I say this every time, but like, who let me have a Facebook? Who let me post the
We
things that
were
I
all cringe.
post? I feel like I
It
was
was
just
inevitable.
so 12 years ago.
Mhm.
Now, was I going through it or was I going through it? I don't know. Um, sometimes,
Sounds like the answer was yes from the
Maybe.
That being the only option you gave.
And again, this is 2012. I'm in high school.
Uh-huh.
Like, I have nothing in my life that could be that bad. So maybe I just, again, found this and was like, I need to post this. Sometimes you just can't tell anybody how you really feel. ... Not because you don't know why. Not because you, the letter U, don't know your purpose. Not because you don't trust them. ... But because ... You can never really find the right words to make them understand. First of all,
Man, you said you guys are getting a novel today.
you're getting a novel. I wrote it myself, I think. Maybe. I like how the word you is not the word. It's just the letter
It's the
U.
letter. Mm-hmm.
And when
Yep.
I said, you don't know your purpose, it's not the word your,
You
it's
are.
you are.
Mm-hmm.
I got one like.
Yeah, we were all cringe.
1 like and 2 comments. And I don't know who's the... I didn't even look at the comments. I didn't even want to look. I was looking at this like, this is... Nope. Mm-mm.
Well, I also have a memory to share
Oh, yes.
from 13 years ago to today, and I still stand by this.
Ooh.
The XD at the end included.
Oh, God.
No, it's not bad at all. It literally just says School of Rock is a classic movie. XD.
Oh, yep.
Still true to this day.
Which we should deep
I feel
dive
like this is
in.
going to come up very
Yes.
soon, too. But yeah, 1 like and 10 comments, and all the comments are literally just me and one friend talking back and forth.
I love how some of the comments that I
was
have
like,
on mine are from people that no longer are Facebook friends with me, so it doesn't show their comment.
oh, so it just looks like you're talking to yourself, right?
So it will say like 3 comments, and then when I go in there, there's like 2, and 2 of them are mine. Even though it says there's an extra one, so great.
Yeah.
I just Facebook,
Good times, good times.
and I love looking back at the Facebook memories. They're cringy and
Mhm.
stupid. Like today's Facebook memory. Describe your perfect
What's yours?
date. That's a
Oh, yeah.
tough one. I have to say April 25th because it's not too hot, not too cold.
Not too cold.
All you need is a
All
light
you need,
jacket.
light jacket.
And I reblogged it or reposted it twice. So it's saying 7 years ago today and then 3 years ago today because they shared the same thing again.
Because it's important.
It's
It's a
important.
national. It's a holiday.
Yeah.
To me, I post it every year.
Yep.
Ah,
I think that's a good
um,
place to end it.
yeah. Because remember, no matter what, on April 25th, you can always guarantee
It's going to be the
that it's going
perfect
to be
day.
not too hot,
Not
not
too
too cold. And all you'll need
is a
is a
light
light
jacket.
jacket.
Walking here! Up yours, you son of a bitch!
I was trying to figure out.
Toodaloo,
I was
toodaloo.
also gonna do. But I thought the walking one was a good way to end it.
No, it was like bookends. You started it with that and it ended with that. It was an art piece. I'm crying.